Is Spokane still affordable in 2025, or is the secret out? Whether you're leaving from Portland, Seattle, or somewhere in California, one of the first things you'll want to know is how much does it really cost to live here? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the real cost of living in Spokane. I'm talking housing, utilities, taxes, groceries, transportations, and then I'll even share some local insights that could save you money and regret. I'm Adam Clark. I specialize in relocations here in the Inland Northwest, Spokane Valley, Liberty Lake, and North Idaho. Wherever you want to be in this region or zone, I'm here for you. And I've helped dozens of families move here without the chaos. And if you stick around, I'll show you how to grab my free Spokane relocation guide and start mapping out your very own plan. All right, enough of that. Let's just get into it. Section 1, housing costs. Let's start with the big one, housing. Right now in 2025, the median home price in Spokane is hovering between, $394,000 to $430,000, somewhere in there. It really depends on the neighborhood and the condition of the home. That number used to be in the low 300s just a few short years ago. So yes, it is going up, but it's still a bargain compared to our other coastal sister cities. If you're renting a one-bedroom apartment here, the average cost of that's going to run you about $924 per month, and or a two-bedroom apartment that's going to run you about $1,200 a month. Newer builds or luxury apartments, though, those can be a little bit higher. We're talking $1,400 to $1,800 a month or more, of course, if you want one of them fancy downtown condos. But when you compare that to our sister city of Seattle, our number one relocation client, the median home value there is about $850,000 or more. A one-bedroom will rent you between $2,000 and $2,400, while again, Portland, let's just move a little bit further south, the median home there is $600,000, with a one-bedroom renting about $1,800. Or even the Bay Area, LA, etc., Southern California, easily over $1 million to buy, and rent is like $2,500 to $3,200 or more. So if you are a remote worker or dual income family, Spokane lets you own for what you would normally be renting before, and that's a game changer. Look, I've helped buyers from the Bay Area, for example, tell me that their Spokane mortgage, HOA, utilities, all combined were less than their old rent. And now they've got a yard, they've got a garage, and a view of the Spokane River. And I'm telling you, that's what it's really about. Section 2, monthly expenses. Now let's talk about what you'll spend each month outside of your mortgage or rent. I'm talking utilities, slightly above the national average, by the way, around 2% overall higher than the national average. In fact, winters can spike your heating bill, especially in the colder months. Many newer builds and remodels are switching to heat pumps or high efficiency systems in order to offset this though. So if utility and power costs are an important factor for you, this is one of those tips that you might want to take note. But it's not all about utilities. Groceries, pretty average around here in Spokane. And Spokane is definitely large enough to have its own Costco, Trader Joe's, natural grocers, and plenty of local farms and other various markets. So we do have a lot of good quality options here. We don't have California or Hawaii pricing, but don't expect bargain basement either. We're going to be somewhere in the middle. But what about transportation? Gas is often 50 to 75 cents cheaper per gallon than California or Oregon. Car insurance is lower for most people. Washington, in fact, ranks well for average premiums. Most people drive 15 to 20 minutes max as far as their commutes go, and that alone can save you hours each week. Take it from someone that used to live in West Seattle, this one is gold. Look, I always like to remind my clients the real win isn't just in housing costs, it's in the peace of mind that comes with, the financial pressure across the entire board. So speaking of finances, let's talk taxes and insurance. Taxes often get left out of relocation videos, but they really shouldn't. So here's the rundown. And remember, you heard it here first. Washington State, no income tax. That's right. Meanwhile, the Spokane County has a property tax of about 1% of the assessed value. Homeowners insurance is affordable, but usually runs between $700 and $1,200 annually, depending on the value of the home and the coverage options available. So for example, on on a $450,000 home, you're paying around $4,500 in property taxes annually. And if it's your primary residence, there are exemptions that may even help with this even more. Meanwhile, just on the other side of the border in Idaho, you are going to see lower property tax rates on average, but Idaho does have a state income tax. It's about 5.8%, I think, when it's all said and done. Our sister county of Kootenai County, just over in Idaho, think, somewhere post-fall CDA, that is going to be closer to the 0.6 to 0.7% property taxes we're talking about, but housing there is rising quickly. So look, let me give you some advice. This is where a lot of people get caught off guard. Two buyers with the same income can end up with totally different monthly realities depending on the state, school district, and even their lender. But let's get real here. Where are the costs rising? Let's talk honestly about where things are getting more expensive in Spokane. One, demand is up. Spokane made the list of top 15 inbound cities for 2025, which means we're no longer an under the radar secret. Entry-level homes here under $350,000 are quickly disappearing. New construction prices are also up due to manual labor costs. Rental inventory is tight and it's difficult to build new buildings here, and annual rent increases are happening, especially in neighborhoods like South Perry, Kendall Yards, and the Valley. But here's what's still true. Compared to where most of my clients are moving from, Spokane still feels affordable and full of value, especially when you look at the lifestyle that comes with it. Everybody wants more space. Nobody wants to be stuck in crushing traffic. And ownership within reach, not just a constant state of survival. So all that sounds great, but it begs the question, how do I plan smart? Let's wrap up with how to prepare wisely for your move to Spokane. You might want to write this down. Step 1, get local pre-approval. Washington lending laws can be different. Out-of-state lenders often misquote taxes, insurance, or closing timelines. I'll connect you with a trusted local pro that I've worked with many times before to ensure that you're working with the right team. Step 2, build a full cost of living budget. I'm not just talking about the mortgage. We got to think to ourselves, what are the utility averages? What are the local grocery store prices? What are my major commute costs or savings from remote work? I've got tools for this, and I'd be more than happy to walk you through this step by step. And speaking of steps, yes, step 3, you want to book a relocation strategy call with me. Even if you know you're 6 to 12 months out, we can start mapping out neighborhoods, must-haves, timelines, and remote buying options. Remember, this isn't just about moving fast. It's about moving smart. And let's not forget, Spokane is growing fast, and there's good reason for it. But if you want to move here without stress, you need a clear plan, good local data, and someone in your corner. Here, start with my free Spokane Relocation Guide. It breaks down the most up-to-date cost of living data, school zones, neighborhood vibes, and steps for buying remotely. And if you're ready to go deeper, book a strategy call with me. It's absolutely free. It saves you from second guessing every single Zillow search at 11 p.m. And if today's video brought you any value at all, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to talk more about real estate here in Spokane, various neighborhoods, and what it's like to actually live here in 2025, I'm just a short phone call away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.